Hey guys, Cruel Blind Wave, I'm Eric.
Rick.
I'm Calvin.
Aaron.
And we are back with the Book of Boba Fett. This is our weekly dose of Star Wars. We're super excited. I know that a lot of you that watch because of Star Wars, and we want to thank you for being here. And we want to announce on the Book of Boba Fett that this year, 2022, is the year of 1 million Blind Wave subscribers, okay? We are pushing, finally, after 6 years of content, actually asking, subscribe for a goal. We're trying to hit 1 million subscribers this year, and we have chosen the Book of Boba Fett and the Star Wars audience to be the ones to officially say, this is when we start, and we're trying to get it before this point, the end of this year. So
Yes.
Please, if you're here for Star Wars or anything that is Blind Wave related, and I know that you watch every day. I know. You come back, you see in your feed, fucking Blind Wave, better watch it real quick. It would help us so much if you subscribe. That being said, it is now time for the Book of Boba Fett.
You're such a fool. You keep saying that. It's the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, Season 3. Oh, Calvin, we have a poll.
I'm ready for this convergence.
Me too. And, you know, I say as, like, I've watched, like, you know, Clone Wars a couple of times. Like, Clone Wars jumped around too, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. I know for some people it seems to really matter, but it does not matter.
That Mandalorian showed up in...
Yeah.
It did always take place in the Clone Wars, though.
Sure. And what is that? What do you mean?
No, nothing.
I ain't saying. They were all Clone Wars.
Yeah, it still fits with the title.
Yeah. I do kind of wonder, there was some talk about this last week, about if Mandalorian Season 3 and Book of Boba Fett were supposed to air around the same time, but because of COVID shutdowns and stuff, Mandalorian got pushed back.
I just, as I said last week, I view it like a book. Sometimes in books, you have a character you already know that isn't necessarily the character of the title of the book show up, and it has to weave itself back into it. Sometimes you start. I had a book where it started a chapter with a character I didn't even know was gonna be in the book, and then they just slowly merged into the main story of the main character, which was for the title of the book.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm like, what the hell? This isn't the title of the book. It just that's how it went.
Like, Harry Potter started off with Dumbledore.
What? Why?
It did.
Nonsense.
And his
I don't know. I just feel like it's Star Wars, and I wasn't mad that Luke showed up in Mandalorian. I don't know. It wasn't a dedicated Luke episode. I get it. But I think sometimes you got to have those chapters dedicated to X character to bring them into the main character's plotline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had a poll last time, though. The poll was, what ship of Din Djarin do you prefer? And we talked about it, like maybe there is some Regency bias and people were very, very excited. But it's actually not as split as I thought it was going to be. 58% say the N1 Starfighter, 41% say the ST-70 Assault Ship Razor Crest.
I really didn't expect like a huge split.
I kind of thought it was going to be more on the N1.
I expected it to be kind of close because of the benefits the Razor Crest has that the N1 won't.
Yeah. It's like
Mainly.
flying a camper.
I figured 95%
Compared
Razor
to
Crest.
to a sports
95 Razor Crest. Rick, you're ridiculous. You're
ridiculous.
I know why you say that.
Because you hate the prequel.
Dip,
I didn't say it.
Dip says, the Crest, definitely. Where is he going to poop on the new ship? Where?
He's got a poopy suit.
Like the Bantha.
Well, he put where in all caps, but I assumed he meant where.
No, like fighter pilots and stuff, they wear a suit that you can just poop and pee in.
Why have we never seen Bantha
and
poop?
You just sit in it.
It should be everywhere.
They bury it in the sand.
The Banthas?
Yeah, it's like cats.
They wag their tail. And it goes over.
It just covers it up. Also, they have like 50 buttholes, so they're actually like pooping gravel.
It has been referenced, Bantha Poodoo.
It has been.
Yeah.
But it should be everywhere.
So you're just like, I gotta see the poop. Show me the poop.
Rick, didn't Jar Jar step in some?
Icky goo.
I thought
He's right!
no, that was
Icky. No, it was Bantha.
it wasn't Bantha. It was that weird.
You don't know what it is. It could be
With the
Bantha. We
nose.
didn't see it poop.
We didn't see it.
We
poop.
saw
No, Calvin.
Fart.
He's talking about when Jar Jar comes in from the outskirts of after they landed in Naboo, out there in the outskirts into Mos Espa. You're talking about the pod race thing when the thing.
A fart.
There's no poop.
Like
it's
a
only a
hippo.
fart.
That's a
It's
fart.
an open-
A hippo. It has a nose like an elephant.
Bantha Poodoo.
it-
Next
It does
comment.
this like a hippo.
Owen Davis says, how's he supposed to hold bounties in N1? They gonna sit in his lap? Give him back the Razor Crest. Well, maybe he'll stop giving the choice of I can bring you in warm, I can bring you in cold. And just
I can
cut
bring
everybody's heads
you.
off.
I can bring you
Where's that?
in with the top half,
Yeah.
or just the bottom.
He brings him in real cold because he straps him to the outside of the starship.
Right?
Or it signals a change in
hooked
that
on the
maybe
top like
hunting isn't going to be his
Like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, right.
Like Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Nope, you wouldn't.
Yellowwick says, the Razor Crest was a beauty, but the N1 is my favorite ship in all of Star Wars, so I might be a little biased.
Well. So
Cam K says the N1 is not an upgrade, but it is satisfying.
it is.
Well,
He
we got to
needs-
see it be built.
I kind of agree with Rick. I think it would be really cool if he had like a ship that he parked it in, and then when he needs to be like super fast,
What happened to the Imperial Cruiser that they kind of...
Bo-Katan took it.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, because Luke cleared that deck. That'd be awesome if they get around to that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. That's the whole point they were there, is that they can get all this armament and all that stuff. Gasman says can't go past the Razor Crest. It wasn't just a ship. It was a home.
A lot of memories in that.
It's not a place, it's a people.
a people.
All right, we're going to end with Robin, who says, I love the Naboo fighter, but I can't see how he's going to use it for bounty hunting. And I agree. Most people are talking about that, the fact that, you know, he can live in one or you can bounty hunt in one. I think it could signal, like, a new era for Din. He might not be bounty hunting anymore. You
Like
never
I
know.
said, I think it's a good opportunity for a one-to-one trade
Yeah.
Take this in one
between
for the
him
slave
and
one.
Boba. Yeah,
No.
in one to slave one.
That has meaning from his father and
That's
stuff.
his dad's.
No,
but
So did his helmet, and he put a
That's-
bomb in it.
I don't
that's
want
a
your
different
shit.
life now.
I want
he has his helmet. That thing withstood the explosion, and he took it back. In mine, baby.
Wasn't that his father's helmet that he put the bomb in? Or
Yeah,
was
that's what
it
I said.
His own helmet.
Well, he repainted his father's helmet.
Did he? Okay.
And his father's armor.
Yep.
Which
Well,
was
I
the
knew
whole,
he
that
took
was
his
the,
armor.
That was the
Yeah.
blockchain code
Yep.
thing that he talked
I
about.
thought he did
so.
his own helmet.
No, it's all,
Like-
it's all new.
Also, before we get started, we do have this wonderful Blind Wave Mandalorian shirt over at the shop. The link is down in the description. If you like it, we have more than shirts. We also have cups and other things.
has a
But it's a
cup.
fun to design. It's all of us as Mandalorians that we picked our own custom thing. Rep it out there if you want to. Check it out down below.
Mando.
So what happens this
the
episode?
Mandalorian
Back to Boba Fett, or we stick with Mando? He said, like, I gotta go
Both.
see a little friend.
Convergence.
They're intertwining.
Merge
They're
it.
merging! Look at that chest.
It's a Camtono.
Hey!
There's a Camtono.
We'll leave the spice and take the credits back to Mos Eisley. The rest will follow. Do you know where you
Cobb?
are, gentlemen?
Hey.
Hey, sweet. Yeah, there's four of us, only one of him. They're gonna draw, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Ah!
Think it through.
Alive.
Dang, he shot three so quick. It was such a
He's a
quick,
gunslinger.
quick draw western kind of moment.
You think he'll join up with Boba?
I mean, no.
No?
He'll join up with Din Djarin.
He's like a better Pierce Brosnan.
A better Pierce
better.
Brosnan.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan doesn't
Are
wear
you
facial hair
Are you saying he can sing?
as well as this. Well,
Pierce Brosnan can't sing.
no, he can't. Mamma mia, why?
Strange.
Dad, where are we going?
Where is this?
Before
This has got to be the
Plus.
Academy, right?
Man, look at that. It reminds me of the game,
That
right?
console is beautiful.
R2?
Oh no.
It
I
is.
can't. I'm not gonna be able to handle it. We're gonna see Luke too.
Are we?
Like, we must, but Bamboo Forest. Fuck yeah.
Bantha Forest?
Bamboo, you fool.
Read the scene.
I thought it was Bantha Forest, but he's a Bantha. I'm like, what?
Banthas planted in the ground.
Doing maybe something?
Oh,
Is that Grogu doing it? Oh, it's a.
whoa.
Fuck.
That's not
is
the
cool.
Force.
I love
That
that
is
toy.
really cool.
That's not how the
It's
Force
like a
works.
bunch of gonk droid tops stuck together.
There's a little boy. Holy shit!
Oh, it's so good.
It's like in the daylight.
They
too.
hired that Schmook guy from YouTube.
Yeah.
Man.
No.
Oh, he's gonna eat that
No
frog.
distraction.
Old frog one eye.
Dude, that looks really good, doesn't
Scar
it?
and everything.
It's much better than
Yeah.
I mean,
season
he's
two.
not. He's not
And
talking.
Harder
yet.
lighting.
man.
Grogu.
I can't.
I want to hear him talk. They
How
did
many
it
is he gonna lift?
off screen. Oh my gosh! Huh?
Master.
Look at them all. Look at how big his eyes got.
I want to tell you about someone you remind me of a great deal.
Man, that's a really good voice too. I like it.
Oh, that's what he's doing. Okay.
Would you like to remember?
Can you help?
Oh, can we do like a force
Like a
walk
mind
thing?
probe?
I mean, it's like the Jedi version of what
Let me
Kylo
help you
and Maul
remember.
does.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, it's Order 66.
Oh my gosh.
Well, what happens?
I don't know.
I mean, I know he didn't die, but man,
So
you just laying there waiting.
that means Grogu was Luke's first.
Would seem so. Holy shit!
Man,
What?
dude, is she gonna see Luke?
I'm an old friend of the family.
Then it's my choice to go and see him.
Of course. If that is what you wish.
That's
shot.
cool.
Those four characters in the same frame.
I know.
Grogu misses you a great deal. If he sees you, it will only make things more difficult for him.
Make sure he's protected.
He's got two heavy hitters with him.
Yeah.
I want to see what it is.
It's a little shirt.
I know I want to see it. I want to. Let me see it on him. Put
Next
it on
time
him.
we see Grogu, he'll be wearing it.
He doesn't know that ship. Does he sense him?
He probably did.
He's on a little backpack too.
Yeah. He is.
Let's see you jump.
Force jump.
Been training in the jump.
That's
It's
so
vertical.
good.
Come on. I want to show you something.
He's back in the little backpack.
This is so great.
And he's running through the jungle. Do a flip.
Hang on.
Yes!
Ah.
I don't know why I enjoy
I
it
know,
so
I'm
much.
so easily satisfied. And I love myself for it. Love yourself, everybody.
Oh, that's not a rock.
They call me.
Through the Force, you will find balance as well.
Why did the music get me?
Love
Concentrate.
Love.
Oh,
Remote. Marksman H training remote.
It's not
Like
a
balls.
ball.
No, that isn't how it works.
That's so good. I love how much like a toddler he is.
Has that stop motion quality to it.
yeah.
Oh!
Get back up.
Yes!
Yeah!
Yeah, baby!
That was a Yoda jump.
Good.
Oh,
Oh, look at him go! Oh, our boy!
This is the equivalent of Yosemite Sam going, dance!
Right?
Fuck yeah, little Grogu.
turn
Those
into a
ears, he can fly.
He's imagining he has a jetpack.
Sure he is.
I know, man. That's Anakin's son.
He broke the remote.
Sometimes I wonder if his heart is in it.
So much like your father. May the Force be with you.
Oh, man, I can't believe Ahsoka and Luke talking to each other.
I know.
And he just looks like he's like flawless. And they cut away when he talks. Good for you. No limitations.
Man, I love it.
Tattoo 1 and Tattoo 2.
Eric, you're a nerd.
Name of the Sons. It's a great dragon skull.
Who's he gonna go talk to?
Cobb?
Oh
my gosh!
Wait, he's not getting Jawas, is he?
Yeah, Jawas. They're fucking bad.
No, he's just going by. Okay.
No.
Oh, we need some Jawas.
Dude, that's
Come on.
the most baller sand crawl I've ever
Look
seen.
at that.
That's like having a longhorn skull on the front of your truck.
Mm-hmm.
They love the eggs, right?
Well, they're probably carrying it somewhere to sell it, right?
Stranger comes to town.
From the desert.
Imbo? No.
Himbo.
I saw the hat.
Tell these people to head inside for a spell.
Is it?
Cad Bane?
Is it retaliation?
Just rather err on the side of safety.
Like they send Cad Bane from the Pikes.
Yeah.
I saw a hat.
Oh my
And a
gosh, it
duster.
could be.
No.
I think it is.
Gunfighter versus
I know,
gunfighter.
and it looks like a hat, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know if you can take Cad Bane.
I don't want to see
it
Cad
though?
Bane like this.
Is it though?
It might be.
Don't hype up because it could be wrong.
I know.
And then we'll be sad.
Oh, my
Come on.
It's-
That's definitely
It's
him.
definitely him. Look at that belt buckle. Look at the belt buckle. He's blue.
You got jet boots?
Oh, my gosh.
Be Corey Burton.
Whatever Fett is paying you, we'll match.
That's Corey Burton.
And all you've got to do is stay put and let things play out.
Hey, the marshal ain't for sale.
Get inside.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Damn it, Mandalorian just left.
Oh my god!
Don't kill Cobb. And we saw how fast Cobb was, but
But he's not.
He's not.
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane can take out Jedi.
Oh,
He's
He's a little jumpy.
green.
No!
that's a lot of shots.
I.
Maybe Cobb's not dead.
It looked like it impacted
Grazed
one on his
him.
left side.
Yeah.
And it didn't have the burst.
As long as the spice keeps running, everyone will be left alone.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even be mad. I think he's alive. Call a doctor, yeah. I think he's alive.
He's alive.
Finnick lived from worse.
Yeah, this is just gonna get people to join the cause.
Is he breathing?
All right. Everyone,
Now he wants to fight.
Everyone in town of fighting age.
Woo! All right.
That was all they needed.
Man, I was wondering how the stranger in the desert was
desert.
gonna be coming in and playing.
Yeah.
Like, why? We're in a bamboo forest.
Which
You know?
stranger in which desert?
Huh. No close up for Max. Where's Max?
He left.
Day
His
off.
Tatooine's getting crazy.
Oh no.
Did they leave the camp?
They're leaving the Camtono. This is very bad.
With money or with
I don't know.
like a bomb?
It's a bomb.
Yeah.
They're walking away more hurriedly.
There's a flip. No.
Wait, you forgot your Captuna.
Oh no.
No.
We didn't see Max.
That's why we don't see Max.
That's why
You think
he's
Max
not
is
there.
Oh my
might-
god, we're back here. Oh my god. All right.
Why are we back here?
Why not?
Oh,
you don't want to be here?
No, I want to be everywhere.
Literally.
What's in the box?
He's got a box.
This is the cloth.
Oh, this is your choice, Grogu.
Oh no.
You can choose this or a lightsaber.
Why can't I have both? It'd be
Look at the little chainmail.
Oh, it's so tiny.
That's Yoda's lightsaber.
Belonged to my teacher, Master Yoda. Which do you choose?
It's a lot to put on a kid.
Let him sleep on it.
Man. Don't end. No.
Oh my gosh.
gosh. Dave Filoni.
Damn you, Dave!
I love you, Dave.
All these fails.
I don't know if I can do anything else today.
I don't want to hear anyone complain about Boba Fett not being in this episode.
He was. He just didn't speak. No, I don't.
You know, I don't know. There's so much. I know, like, Book of Boba, and we're covering other stuff and whatnot, so sure, but it's also part of the story of what Boba's doing with Tatooine and whatnot. The Mando's a little bit disconnected, but also kind of not. Like, he's kind of what's bringing in Cobb and whatnot. And
well, since, like, we met Boba again, in the Mando's episode, like, it feels like it's all one show.
One thing.
It's just one story.
Yeah. I mean, we're watching practically these chapters of a giant story that's taking place in this time period.
But I could see if you called this Mandalorian Season 3, people might be upset if you don't see Mandalorian until
the last couple episodes.
Sure,
yeah. So you need to have a different things. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the idea is like, well, why didn't they have Mandalorian Season 3 right now? Well, because we want to cover some Book of Boba stuff and bring Cad Bane into 5-6 years after Return of the Jedi.
From the desert comes a stranger. That whole sequence when you're like, wait, who? No. Well, it does what it did for Luke Skywalker in the finale of Season 2, right? Yeah. You slowly are getting to the point where, like, is that Cad?
Because you just keep seeing more and more and more as he's getting closer.
Yeah, and I love the three stages of the reveal.
And for me, it was the perfect melding of what the Duros look like in Episode 4 versus what Cad looks like in animation.
In the Clone Wars.
So
it's really, really good.
Because you can't just have exactly what Clone Wars is, but you need to make sure you have it feel like the Clone Wars, because that's what you had him in.
Yeah. So excited from a prequel character.
Good.
Right, man? That's good. That's the gift Clone Wars has given you. That's the gift Dave Filoni gave you then and is giving you back. He's re-gifting now.
And I love that they use Corey Burton for the voice.
Me too. The modulation's a little different, but I think this one suits live action a little more. Maybe desert-wise. I don't know. We'll see. He's also changed stuff a little bit.
He has, because he lost it, didn't he?
Well, yes and no. He uses it. It's not like any type of... It doesn't come from like an injury or anything. He does it so he can't be choked.
Well,
you know?
No. Yeah, but like
he's changed things up.
Didn't at some point it get like ripped off or
I don't remember being ripped off. He certainly at this point would have the head plate.
Yeah.
That we saw in that match.
Which with that, I'm excited to see like how much more does he come into play, because he has history with Boba and Finnick both, and they're both on the other side.
We even just said this episode, like, oh, well, it's just the Pikes. He's got to deal with the Pikes. Well, the Pikes hired.
They're rich.
Yeah.
That one chest was worth more than their whole town.
Not that Mospago is great, but I get you.
Freetown.
Freetown. But man,
put respect on their name.
I think that really helps to push then, because I'm assuming we lose a deputy. He's like the red shirt.
Yeah. Because we shot 50 times.
Cobb got hit once. I'm hoping it's more like arm shouldery, one of those kind of like you're not gonna die from.
Yeah,
probably.
For me, like if it's like get the doctor, like as you're leaving the scene, there's no way.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna die, but is he gonna be in the fight?
Sure. At the very least, we pull in.
He can lead the garrison.
At the very least, we pull in the soldiers now, which then helps us to have our finale of fighting the Pikes and taking Tatooine and all that kind of stuff.
He got shot on his left side. He has a one-handed blaster. He could probably still. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, put him in the back tank. May that help?
Back to would definitely help.
But maybe
we have to talk about. I know that we talked about this last time with Luke, and it's like it was so exciting to see him there. And in that one Mandalorian special, they talked about how, and we talked about it. It's not 100% at all. Then it was like 75%. And then I showed you, like, remember I was like, there's going to be a guy that I've been watching on YouTube that's going to do better tomorrow. And he did. And then they hired that man, and look how good it is.
It's definitely much better.
It's 98%.
There's shots when like, and it's why they don't show him talking as much. But there's shots when he's talking. Sure. There's one when they were in the forest, and he's just talking to him, and it's shot down, and it looks just a little weird. Yeah. But the first shot of him sitting there,
when I first saw
meditating,
it was incredible. The more I saw it, the more it fell apart. But the first time I saw it, I was like...
But think about how much they're trusting that, too, because we had a scene, and we barely saw him in that finale. Here, he carried multiple scenes
in the daylight.
In daylight,
There's
no hiding.
no hood or anything
But,
covering
like,
his face.
There are shots where it's just that's not even. I can't even say that's Mark Hamill. That's Luke Skywalker, and it's not a video game Luke Skywalker. It felt like Episode 6 Luke Skywalker 5 years later on screen.
Sure,
It did.
And it was magical.
Yeah,
for me.
Like the voice felt pretty good. Like
The voice was. I thought that looked better than it sounded, but the voice wasn't bad.
No.
The cadence was good.
Yeah, it kept me in enough. I
Yeah.
wasn't like, that's weird.
No,
You know?
it's the only thing is like just having to shoot around the limitation, which
Sure.
is still lips. Lips are
Yeah.
so hard for
And it's
everything.
It's such a hard thing to do because it's like, well, how do you do it to make it where this character who we haven't had in a story, and he's 5 years past the point from, 30 years ago, 40, how long's it been? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do with that? And it's like you either hire someone else and just be like, well, that's him, you know? But then you have the real actor years later as old him. So now you have, like, when you watch through it, like, kids who have never seen it, they're going to be like, Luke Skywalker, episodes 4, 5, 6. Mandalorian. Who's that guy? Oh, that's Luke Skywalker. Oh, okay. And then you go back and like, wait, isn't that the original guy? He's like, yeah, he's back again. And it's like, it's like, well, what's the right solution? And it's so hard to do because it's not being filmed,
chronologically.
Yeah. So it's a tricky thing.
We talked last episode, Max Lloyd Jones, the double, he was in the X-Wing cockpit, and we are like, I wonder if that means that Luke could be, if it's like, you want to be in a,
Yeah. No. And it's kind of some of the stuff that they do when it's like, let's bring in this guy. We'll have him do this. Yeah. And he's going to do this, But, and we had Ahsoka talking to Luke Skywalker. Which made me, I don't know.
It was so surreal. I
comparing to his father. Talking about R2.
I openly wept.
Yeah.
R2.
I understand
they didn't even.
that.
They just looked at each other in the one scene, and I started just getting tears. And they didn't even talk. He just went and nodded to her.
Yep. I think that certain reviewers will call it fan service. I think that that's an easy thing to say, but I feel serviced.
I mean, why?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't have like a story reason to be there.
Nope.
Well, that we know of.
Well,
the last time we saw her was doing, and this is the thing too. Like, there's supposed to be an Ahsoka series. Is that going to tie into before this or after this? Like, was she here and then leaving? Is it going to be like if it go? Sure. Do we get a little bit of a mixture, seeing where she's been and stuff? But like, you can have in the series where it's like, I met with Luke. He informed me of this, and thus I'm going this way.
It seems to me like if this guy shows up, R2 is to call Ahsoka. Right? And then R2 called Ahsoka and turned off. Yeah. They made a bitch, and then Ahsoka shows up. So, I mean, it's not
Ahsoka
that she's just hanging around.
Intercede.
She is there to be a buffer between the Mandalorian and Grogu, which I'm sure that now that we know that they've spoken, they talked about that. This kid is going to have a problem by separating what he needs to do with what he wants to do.
Yeah.
If that's the actual way of saying that, I don't know.
Yeah. Which leads me to wonder, like, one, what choice will he make? Yeah. And then two, there's also that idea of like, well, the Jedi were wrong. It's like their methods died because of their lack of attachment or the way their religion went or whatever. And even kind of Yoda, like, talks about that a little bit in like episode 8? Mm-hmm. 8. When like the tree's on fire and
the sacred text!
Yeah, like some of that kind of stuff, talking about how like the Jedi
Page turners, they were not. You're right, and we can't have perfect Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I mean, episode 8, Luke has to fail. And, and I know people are upset by that, but I prefer the real person versus the myth, Luke Skywalker, He needs to make mistakes.
Like the chosen one.
And being told, what the Jedi were and what the Jedi should be, there's not like this an easy connection to make there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he loved his father and refused to stop. But the next, he can't go back in time and fix Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. But he knows and sees, like, he sees Ben do exactly what Vader did. And now he's not, it's not the same choice. People always say it's the same choice and they got it wrong. It's not the same choice. Like when he chooses to save Vader versus choosing to ignite his lightsaber, right? To stop Ben. Like if you could go back in time and it's like you can punish Hitler for what he did, or you could kill Hitler before he does it, right? And that's not the right thing to do necessarily. But you're going to have a moment of pause,
Sure.
And in that moment, Luke fails.
Yeah, and what's the Jedi way in that kind of situation? Like, should I stop what I think is going to be evil, or should I not because it hasn't been evil yet?
And it might be in this moment Luke is failing by thinking that he has to give this kid a choice. Tar Vizsla was ultimately a peacemaker. He stopped the wars between the Jedi and the Mandalorian.
Known for wars and fights.
Grogu could literally just, this is the way.
I want to see both series.
I know.
I want to see the series where he makes this choice
I
and the one where he makes this choice.
I want to play that game and
I know.
do another. I know.
Yeah.
I feel like because of what we have knowledge-wise in the future, I think Grogu picks the Mandalorian side, and then he goes to the Mandalorian, and then that's why we don't see him with like Luke or being in the facility or anything, because he went with the Mandalorian, he didn't go the Jedi way, and then who knows where he
ends
up.
lives 1,000 years. Who's to say he can't make this choice now and this choice later?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's live with the Mandalorian while he's alive, and then come back and try Jedi training here in 50 more years.
Yeah.
Too old.
He's not too old to start the training.
He just started the training. Dude,
He started the training back years ago when the Jedi Temple fell.
I want to see more of that. To like, what? How did he get out of that? He was like in the temple, and everyone was dead.
He was captured, right?
It seems like the 501st captured him.
Yeah, I think
it did seem like
I
it,
don't know why they wouldn't kill him.
But they were also looking for him again.
See, so we know that he's there. Yep. They're Jedi purging. They're not instructed to like capture any younglings that I know of, right?
No.
So I would say
they say if even a single Jedi survives, then we're that's what Palpatine says.
Yeah. So I imagine like they're there to kill. So how does Grogu get out? Then we have the bounty where he had been stashed away on that other planet and stuff, where it's like, had he been stolen then from the Empire, and then they were hired him to get him back for the Empire?
Yeah. Well, it seemed like they had started research with him, and like the one scientist says, like, I need my test subject back in order to.
Dr. Pershing.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm wondering, like, what's the order of how that happens? Like, how does he escape to when he gets captured by the Empire to being like kidnapped by those one guys and then being hired?
I think the storytellers they remind
in,
us and show us that before a reason. I think that they'll keep working on it.
Yeah, which that can be in Mandalorian season 3 maybe, or that could be in, I don't know, Ahsoka.
Yeah, fucking put in anything.
With Ahsoka being here now, like you could easily have her back and forth between like Luke and Grogu, and then doing something else. You know, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So there was just so many characters in this that I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh man, that was fun. And then it's like, oh my gosh.
Yoda's lightsaber.
Yeah, Yoda's lightsaber.
Yoda's theme so many times.
The idea of passing that down to Grogu.
But Yoda's lightsaber is in his hut in Dagobah.
Oh man, it just. And I was like, oh, cool Cobb. You know,
sure.
Yeah. Well, I was you know, in the beginning, I guess she's like, "I come in, all right."
And he had a cool moment there in the beginning. I love his little gunfight there. You see how good he is, taking out 3 guys.
And I mean, I think the smart move would have been to kill all 4, but he leaves the 4th one alive. You know.
Yeah. Well, he needed to send the message.
It's like he's lawful good. He doesn't want, I don't think, to kill.
Yeah.
He will. I don't think he wants to. Where he looks for an excuse to not kill that last.
I mean, he is the Wild West equivalent of lawful good.
Yeah.
He is.
He still kills 3 motherfuckers.
No, but he's the sheriff following the rules and taking the laws into account. And I love how he talks about Mos Espa and Mos Eisley and anything goes to Mos Eisley. You know, I don't know about Mos Espa. You guys do what you need to there, but this is our territory.
Just a lot of continuity, a lot of return, a lot of like linchpin episode, which is I think why you get Dave to come in here. You have Ahsoka, you have.
Well, having Ahsoka in there, I feel like that's one reason why you have Dave doing directing, because you want to make sure where Ahsoka's going, and that's that's a character he created.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, just a beautiful episode. Legitimately, despite that it's those 4 characters in that shot, I love that shot of they are framed by bamboo, and then it's the Mandalorian and Ahsoka that are framing this frame over here of Yoda and Grogu, who are themselves Grogu and Luke, who are themselves like almost silhouetted in a frame.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful shot.
Well, and you have this peaceful, lush green versus war-torn desert. It's a good contrast too.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious too. Like, looked so good, but then there were a couple of shots. I'm like, okay, that definitely is the volume.
And then there's like the discussion of the balance too of that planet and what's going on. While meanwhile you have just chaos happening on Tatooine and war and battle and like no balance. You know, like. So there is a lot of comparison between like where the Mando goes to where he goes back to.
Yeah, like Grogu's choice and how different a path that those two things are.
And then we also got to see R2. We haven't mentioned that, but R2, which is, we had him a little bit at the end of Mandalorian 3, but here, like, he's like talking to Din and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Shutting down, being like, here's your bench.
He's the foreman on that
Yeah, I know.
build site.
I
really
love those
is.
androids.
Those
Androids are really cool.
Crazy.
Do you like?
Such a cool.
Do you rent them like you would rent like
It's like a
piece
construction crew?
Yeah, like a construction crew or
I
something
feel like
like
if
that.
you're Luke
or-
Skywalker, you just walk into your local contractor. It's like, yeah, I need 15 of your droids. And they're like, all right, you blew up like Death Stars. You know? I guess just one, but still.
Sure.
And defeated the Emperor,
Yeah.
in a way. I mean, you know, once he comes out of there, the story he could be like, yeah, I killed the Emperor. You know, like, it could have been.
I mean, that's the thing that gets him in Episode 8 is the story of Luke Skywalker, right? Like Luke Skywalker being this great hero that can't ever mess up, and when he does, that's what breaks him.
Sure. No, that's true. Like, he can't live up to his own legend in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is funny because he can't live up to his own legends.
Yep.
So,
And then uses that legend to give people hope again at the end of that movie
yeah. It's a really fun
by
thing.
not even being there. Man, I just can't get over looking at Cad Bane's face.
Cad Bane.
Like,
He's a little less blue.
It's really good.
he is. Well, he's very old at this
I
point.
suppose so, yeah.
I think that Doro's probably whitened with age. They probably lose a little bit of that color.
Possible.
Makes sense.
But he's quite old.
I don't know much about him.
He's a little pale. He's been in the in the desert. I don't know what that does to blue skin.
Sure, I mean, how long has he been on Tatooine?
Dehydrated.
We've seen the thing with like Obi-Wan and how much he ages versus like Bo-Katan and Fennec Shand, who were both alive, you know, in their 20s or whatever back in Clone Wars.
I mean, he was an
You know what I mean?
established best in the galaxy 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So he's an old man. And it
Yeah.
probably makes sense why his voice is a little not as powered, maybe.
Possibly.
So
He's still good.
he's the best.
He
I mean,
outgunned two people
the
before they
secret
drew.
most powerful Sith Lord contracted him to go break into the Jedi Temple. He's the best.
You have an old man in a job where young people die.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You know they're good.
I wonder with him in there and having never really seen that scene of
Yeah.
Boba Fett and Cad Bane.
That's what I was saying. I'm excited for having Boba and Fennec both there too, because they both have that history with
Yeah.
Cad. But yeah, who will take out Cad Bane if that's a route we're going?
Well, of the three that are still in a good fighting shape, like Fennec, Boba, and Din. Like Din is definitely the more gunfightery of
Sure.
them, right?
And
Like
Boba,
quick draw.
Boba and Din both have their armor.
Yeah.
But do you think there's any chance, like Boba's trying to make this outer heaven for bounty hunters? Like, do you think there's any chance that
Switches
he
sides?
switches?
I don't know because of with the Boba idea.
he's so strong.
With the idea of Boba being
Always
there.
worked for Scugheads.
Does he have a vendetta or anything? We don't know exactly why he has the metal plate, I suppose, because we've never seen why he has it.
Sure.
But if we go with the assumption of what we think happened, he probably doesn't like Boba Fett very much.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm curious if we kind of get like a rematch, even though we didn't get the first match.
I mean, it's almost a way of Boba fighting himself, right? Because Boba was the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, and now on the other side is the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, and Boba doesn't want to be a hunter anymore. So it's kind of like almost fighting a symbol of his past, despite there being, I don't know how many at this point, literally people that look like you.
Yeah.
This is actually your mirror.
You know what this does, though? Is like, we have such a vast many years to have Cad Bane, like, what has he been doing?
Yeah.
Like, when Darth Vader needed bounty hunters to find the Falcon, Cad Bane wasn't there.
Sure.
What was he doing? You know, did the Emperor have him doing something?
Doing something
You know?
even more important.
Has he come out of retirement for this?
Yeah, the Solo stuff, like we had Solo and Maul at the end of that and everything. Like, is there what's Cad Bane doing there? Would he have been part of that whole like smuggler scoundrel trilogy idea that they were doing? Like, I don't. There's so many points you could put him in. You could have him in Cassian Andor.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, he could be involved there, really, or
Definitely.
something. Like, you could have him in so many places.
Did you guys get the impression that, like, the way they wrinkled his eyebrows, like, they were just looking at pictures of Clint Eastwood?
Oh,
There's something about the wrinkles in his face where it looks like You took Clint Eastwood and
For
made
Cad
him a
Bane?
Doro. Yeah. You know how Jim Carrey does that thing where he like literally morphs
transforms his face. Yeah.
Cad Bane had a Clint Eastwood like brow and mouth. Like look at the like his cheekbones, like the way they talk about when they were making Yoda.
Like the wrinkles up here.
Yeah, whenever they were making Yoda, they were looking at pictures of Einstein. Like we want to feel smart. Also, the guy that was making Yoda was literally looking at his own face too to try to like get details, and it kind of looks like him too. But I wonder if here, I don't know. There's something about the scrunch and shape around his eyes that feels like you took a Duros, you took Clint Eastwood, and you anamorphed it, and you got the middle.
Maybe.
Like
you can't. Duros have such big eyes, and so you can't. I don't know how like
no nose.
squinty they can get, and there's no nose. Sure. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be a thing, but I've also not really watched a lot of Clint Eastwood. I mean, there's definitely like wrinkles around the eyes.
You can't squint those giant eyes, but that's as close as he can get. But there's just something about it where it just feels Eastwoody.
Yeah.
Which is a word.
That's why he wears that hat, because he can't close his eyes too much, maybe. I don't know. So, to get the sun
Have we
out
ever
of his
seen
eyes.
a Duros, actually blink?
I can't wait. I'm glad people are watching our reaction, but I can't wait to watch other reactions for people that know who he is and people that don't know.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this?
This guy looks weird.
Oh, man. Was there... Halfway through, I was like, okay, we're with Luke a lot. Mando's here. Was there a part of you that thought Luke might come to Tatooine?
No.
I want to say no too, but there was a part of me going like, but that's his home. Would he care that his home world is about to be engulfed in war?
I wondered if maybe going to here to get Grogu, I'm like, could this lead to the point of like bringing back like Jedi to help take care of a Pike Syndicate thing? But I wasn't sure.
While I was thinking
I didn't think it would, but I was like, that would be an interesting kind of
While
story.
I was thinking of it, I both thought you shouldn't. I don't think you should do that story-wise, and I don't think it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But there was a moment where I'm going like, what does it have to do with Tatooine? I mean, that's literally his home world.
I think it's antithetical to what he's trying to teach Grogu against attachment.
Agreed.
Sure.
And
this is like Boba's fight. I don't want it to
be a part of me in there
like Jedi shows up.
Because I mean, the best part I feel like of that Jedi way and choosing not to form attachment is you have to feel the temptation. So I was just thinking like, I wonder if he will be tempted.
So Grogu chooses the armor, goes to Tatooine. Luke has a revelation of like, it's not about attachment. Then he comes in with his lightsaber. You could be both.
No, we can't do exactly what happened last Mandalorian. No, I don't think it's the right choice. I'm glad we didn't go that way. But there was a moment where I'm thinking like, I mean, I know that he didn't like care about it, but he grew up there.
I think it's more likely that Luke goes there to negotiate and intercede rather than fight, so that Grogu doesn't want to.
And ultimately, his lightsaber will be laid to rest there too.
One thing is, I don't know that Luke would know about. Like, what does he know of the Darksaber and its legacy and the Mandalorian Jedi?
It depends on how. I mean, he's doing nothing but researching right now. Like we see in Battlefront 2, he's going for that star compass. So it's possible he could have gotten some books by now and read some history. I'm sure Tar Vizsla is very well.
I just wonder, like, having that idea, like, if he doesn't know who Tar Vizsla is or where that comes from, the idea of the Mandalorian way versus the Jedi way, he may find being
also
opposites,
Ahsoka would be able to tell him some of that stuff. She had memory of that from the Clone Wars, from the Dark Watch.
Sure. Death
not
Watch.
Not the Dark Watch. That's a Xbox One game.
Gotcha. Man, we could talk so much, but we probably should get into Q&As and talk more.
I know. I have other things in my head where I'm like,
I know.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
I can't call it an Xbox One anymore.
The bar blew up. We didn't mention that. That's a big deal.
Garza Fwip.
One thing I wonder...
I think Max Rebo's not there.
No.
He's escaped another death.
He had the day off.
Yes.
Everything's blowing up. He's always getting out. You know what?
He's getting a drink off
He's the
street.
inside man. I think he's a spy.
I don't know if I hate that or love it.
Like every time places blow up, he's always leaving and living.
Or maybe
leaving and living.
Maybe the Pikes like respect him enough to where they're like, don't go to work today.
Yeah, right? He's so
Like,
beloved.
you're a galactic treasure. We
Right?
can't.
Yeah, they have like his CD like playing on the speeder.
For that protocol droid that was in there carrying the thing, did it sound at all like Anthony Daniels or anything?
I think it has cadence, but it didn't sound like it.
Okay.
to me.
There was
credits maybe.
I think there was like an Instagram post I saw or something like that where it just had him like in a thing being like, Anthony Daniels working for another Star Wars project kind of thing. But it didn't say what it was.
Most likely that droid's tail thing that they talked about during
That could be.
Remember that? They said it's supposed to be some type of like almost photorealistic CG show or something like that?
He was in more of a, rather than like a costume, it was more of like a...
Motion capture.
Yeah, like a motion cap kind of suit thing. So it could be something more like that then.
I didn't think so.
But I was just like, whenever he popped up, I'm like, he kind of reminds me of Anthony Daniels' voice, but not quite 3PO. But I'm like, maybe you change it so it's not quite 3PO.
Yeah.
But
thank God they went to Anthony Daniels because realistically, he was cast because he could fit in that suit.
Sure.
And then George Lucas
But
had
then
a whole...
his voice became so iconic.
Well,
to the
yeah,
character.
he did. But George Lucas was going to have him in the suit and redub him because he thought of him as more of like a car salesman a little bit. But then they just played so many scenes and Anthony's actually acting him out. He's like, oh, okay, Butler. We'll do that. And that changed protocol droids forever.
car salesman would be weird.
Yeah. It would be.
Like now, I guess back then it wouldn't because I wouldn't know what I would be missing.
Sure.
But
my goodness, there are many.
I love that they brought in the damn ice cream maker.
The Camtonos.
Will Rowe Hood, baby. If you don't know who Will Rowe Hood is, please Google it and enjoy. And then look at the running of the Will Rowe Hoods at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh my gosh, going up and down those
Do you
escalators.
remember that?
Treasure.
There was like
It's one of the greatest traditions in the modern world.
It is.
All right, movies, TV, media. We'll start by saying no question, but oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
All right.
Yep. Willie Vegas says, I am incredibly happy with that episode. Do you think that the actual meeting of Lady Tano and Master Skywalker is something that we will one day see, or is it something we probably won't get? I think it's probably something we'll see.
I think what we talked about before with the Ahsoka series could be interesting of having, like, it's not all just chronological of where it starts. We get some flashbacks and some history and some story of, like, what she has been doing and where she has been and whatnot.
Dude, like,
even if it continues from this point on, we could have stuff like, the first few episodes of Book of Boba Fett, where we see, what he has done up to this point. Be great.
I was just thinking of, like, Ahsoka and Anakin. They met, but then we cut away. Like, what if they show that?
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh. From Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that just was gone.
Yep.
And then then you're like, well, what?
By the way, we're currently watching Star Wars Rebels every week. We're in
We
the
are.
final season, so please, if you haven't, jump over there. Also, please, if you haven't, subscribe. 1 million subscribers.
It would be really cool to see, like, a fight.
That'd be great.
But when she said, like, I'm a friend of the family, like, this is...
I know. I love that too.
Like, and then whenever he was like, I don't know if he's got it so much like your father.
Like your father?
I don't know if his heart's in it.
I want to know how it happened, Like, how did she find him? Is it because of R2 that she knew? At what point did it occur? Like, from
did she go to
episode 4 to the end of episode 6, Like, it must not have been during that point.
Was it possible one of them was at the Seeing Stone Tython, and that's how they sensed each other?
Sure.
Because she knows about it, at least.
Did she ever meet Yoda and Dagobah?
Dagobah?
Sure.
She could have.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Talking to Master Yoda. Or Ghost Yoda,
Sure.
Like, the idea of them being Force ghosts and stuff, like, Ghost Yoda showed up on Endor.
Yeah. It would be
not just Dagobah,
It would be so cool to, like, be cloister away, be hidden from, the Empire for many, many years, and then die and turn into a Force ghost, and then you could just, like, fast travel to all the other Jedi, and it's like, hey, I didn't know you were still around.
Using the wolf tunnels.
Wolf tunnels.
Julian Garcia says, is it concerning to you guys that the best part of the Book of Boba Fett has nothing to do with Boba Fett? I mean, he hasn't even been a character these last 2 episodes. I understand by a character. He was definitely in this episode.
Like, there was definitely Boba Fett influences in both of these episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In my head, I'm just turning the show into The Mandalorian.
Yep.
Like, that's what its title is.
I mean, this is why every time I get the question, hey, can you rank Star Wars? No, it is one big, giant, living mythology.
Sure.
And I think it's a mistake to try to put things in boxes.
Well.
Except spice.
And fruit.
But, no, I mean, like what we talked about, like,
them.
this is like continuing what we had from Mandalorian, and these events that we're seeing are happening because of Boba, what's going on Tatooine, and, like, other people on Tatooine and stuff, too, right? Like, Cad Bane is there because of the Boba Pikes war. Cobb Vanth, Spice. Like, all this stuff
I
is
understand where
just
people are coming
connected,
from.
you know?
People are saying that, hey, we only have 7 episodes of Book of Boba Fett, and he didn't feature in these last 2. So we're now denied Boba Fett. And my answer to that is, like, dude, or lady, like, he's going to show up. If this is last 2 episodes or any indication, we are going to continue to visit these characters. So it's not the only time you get to see Boba Fett. You know, we're just rolling up these stories, and it's hitting us in waves. And
if you feel like this episode wasn't enough to satisfy your Star Wars itch this week, and you needed Boba Fett, and that's the only thing that could satisfy that itch, then I would say season 2.
Like, if we would have had season 2 of Mandalorian, and one of those episodes was just Boba Fett, I don't think I would have been mad.
No.
You know, I'm like, oh, I like this character. I want to see what he's doing and what he's been up to.
We wanted an episode of Boba Fett when we saw him walking in the desert.
Yeah, and I think that you have to make sure that the Mandalorian stuff is resolved. And I really think, like what we were talking about earlier, why is this happening? Because of what happened in Mandalorian season 2, and that happened because of what happened in Mandalorian season 1. So like you don't have all these things occurring and going the route they are without Mandalorian. So when you get to here, it's like, okay, well, this isn't quite a Mandalorian season. What are we gonna call this? It's like, oh, Book of Boba. Let's focus it on Boba taking over Jabba's, throne and going his route. But we also gotta have Mandalorian in there, and because Mandalorian's in there, we gotta visit a little bit of what Grogu's doing and talk on that, and show some Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka, and bring in Cad Bane, and people will shut up.
I understand the criticism. I don't feel it, but I will not dismiss it outright like I have some others.
Sure.
Which I have straight up dismissed outright as criticism.
Sure. Like if I was the biggest Boba Fett fan in the world and I had a very picture of what I wanted this show to be.
Yeah. Sure.
And it's not that, I can understand being disappointed.
If you're watching Book of Boba because you wanted Boba Fett and you have 2 episodes where you don't get any Boba Fett, I can see you being upset.
And you want Boba Fett to be what he was.
Yeah.
I can understand that if Boba Fett is the only thing that you like about Star Wars. But there's so much good stuff to like in here.
I will say, if you want Boba Fett to be what he was, these last 2 episodes have been exactly that. Hardly talking, barely there.
Yeah.
That's...
And, I mean, like I said, it would only encourage me knowing that this means that Boba Fett will not only appear in the Boba Fett show. It means that if he's a title character like this, he 100% is going to go in and out of these stories for however long they start doing these Disney Plus shows.
Sure. He's got to have the final conversation with Cad Bane, right?
I think so.
It has to be him.
I want to talk about it the whole time, but I think it's better to talk about it next episode.
Hey, I hope that they do all their stuff between episodes 3 and 4. I hope they bring in some Daniel Logan and have him involved in some older, younger Boba Fett stuff.
I understand you didn't get some Boba Fett, but you got more Tim Morrison. He was in 20 roles in that shot in Order 66.
Yeah, he was.
There was so much Tim Morrison in this episode. You need to shut up.
If you cut up all of the roles that Tim Morrison has played this episode, it probably equals out.
Exactly.
Screen time wise.
Yeah. Which those clones look great. I love George Lucas, but George Lucas's biggest mistake, it's not the Han Greedo thing, it's that he didn't make a single physical clone for the prequels. They were all CG.
They were all CG.
That's the biggest mistake. He saved a lot of money. Good for him. But
physical clones look so good.
I don't know if those clones, I want to look at them more, but they seemed, at least one looked practical to me. And I was convinced for a second that Jedi in the front was Sendralig. Not necessarily Nick Giller playing him, but he looked exactly like Sendralig.
I was trying to look to who is this?
They showed one shot of a lightsaber falling. I wonder if you look...
If it's recognizable.
It wasn't one that
If it's a recognizable... Well, we have that book of lightsabers now.
We do.
We can look.
I would say... I know... No.
Well, it wasn't the front guy's lightsaber that we saw. It was the guy in the back on the right, I think.
Yeah. To me, it seemed generic lightsaber-ish. It wasn't a prominent Jedi. I think I know what most of the Jedi lightsabers look like. But he's dressed and his hair is like Syndralig. Maybe it's not white enough, but those troopers look amazing.
They look like outfits. You know what it could be too? Is there not just like 501st like the
there are.
Right? Like there's not just stormtroopers, there's 501st thing. You
Yeah.
could just be like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
we need some people with 501st costumes. Can you guys just come out here and
Yeah,
pretend
That's
to
what they
shoot
did
some
for Mandalorian Season 2 when they needed a bunch of stormtroopers.
Jedi? It is.
They
look really good.
They look real. Like at least the 5 or 6 in the front. The others in the back that are shadowed, I can see them being CG.
If you can, I mean, it's not Nick Gillard, but
No.
I'm gonna bring up Syndralig,
It
which we saw briefly in Clone Wars, but he also, like, that's Syndralig. His clothes are a little darker in this photo.
I think this
Whoever
guy's a lot younger.
is wearing his hair up. It looks like.
But he has a green lightsaber too, right?
It looks like a woman, honestly.
It could be.
Like-
No, I was just trying to place him, but it could not be.
That person's a lot younger than that person.
Well,
Yes,
yes,
it is.
But I was just saying that's probably a double.
Sure.
If you're not seeing their face, you know. It's like
I don't know.
a stunt guy is a lot younger than Steven Seagal. You know, like I watched Steven Seagal fight. I know that's not
He's
Steven
saying in
Seagal.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation that was not Raiden.
There's a lot of Ray Park. There for it, baby. All right. Adam says, I can't believe this episode exists. Every scene blew my mind, but I need to highlight. But what I need to highlight was Grogu's flashback in the Jedi Temple, seeing the 501st during Order 66. Now I really wonder if we'll ever see who rescued him.
Yeah.
What do you guys
How does
think?
he get out of that situation?
Yeah.
Like we know of what Jedi have escaped for the most part, but maybe there's a few that we don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to? Do we ever actually? What's the current canon of Shakti?
Oh,
Like,
she
where's
died
she-
4 times.
I know. Like where is she at in that? Like maybe she could have saved him or something.
Sure.
You know, like
Be
I-
hilarious
dude,
if-
I
if
literally-
they resolve it here. It's like, okay, shut up, everybody. This is how she dies.
I literally go on Wikipedia and study the entries sometimes, and I do not know.
yeah, like there's been so many things
Yep.
of like games and legends and
She was killed
alternate movie deleted scenes and stuff.
In Return of the Revenge of the Sith, she has 2 cut death scenes where Grievous kills her in the beginning, and then Anakin kills her in the temple, and then she's killed by Starkiller, and there's another one.
I think it's in a book.
Is it a book?
Right? Or a comic.
Yeah.
I think it's in a comic.
Anything that was done after 2014 is the answer.
We also maybe... No, I don't know if that works. Maybe. Luminara, we have her in Rebels, but like her remains, but she was captured and used to bring in more Jedi.
Yeah.
There could be a little wiggle room where maybe she could save Grogu, but
Maybe.
then gets captured in return or something like that, and they use her remains to
Fucking
pull in more
Luminara.
stuff, you know? Like, what?
I just...
Why are you fucking Luminara? What's wrong with her? Varys, Offie, that's the one you can be mad at.
Barris is the one you
But
mad
not
at.
Luminara.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with Luminara.
Then they used her.
She's just
in
so...
Rebels, remember?
I don't know.
That was everything I said here. That was the whole thing I was just talking
I was reading the
about.
next one. Ended Everyone says, what an episode. There's so much to talk about that I'm sure others will cover the big stuff. My question is, do you think Max Rebo managed to escape this time?
He wasn't there.
1000%.
If he were there, there would have been a close-up. They
Yeah,
closed
they
up
have
on the
the
droid.
puppet.
They closed up on the Valakor guy
They showed everyone that was playing,
in the band that we've seen.
and the organ was not being played.
Yeah, you didn't hear an organ.
No, I heard like the horn, and
It
I
was
heard the
it was
drums.
horn, string, and drums. There was
It could have
no...
just been a solo, but I don't think he's there.
Nah.
I don't think Max Rebo was there.
Maybe he was in the dressing room.
I think it's weird to bring him back, say Max, and then also just kill him.
Yeah.
Maybe not weird, but
And this, tragedy that he escaped is going to further fuel his music.
what if he was like sick or just like he forgot his lunch?
Yeah, his whole band is dead.
Exactly. That's
He's
something
gotta
he
pour
can
that
write
into
songs
his music.
about.
Yeah. Holy shit.
This is going to be his best time.
Ooh.
A kaboom bloom.
Adam asked the question, do you think Cad Bane is responsible for killing the Tuskens?
I could see it.
Maybe.
I mean, it
That
could just
would
be the
be-
Kenton Riders, but Fennec did have doubts that Tuscans could be beaten by bikers.
I thought the riders thing was a plant for their symbol to make it look like it.
There wasn't any bodies or equipment there. If it were the Striders, then I figured there would be at least like some of the bikes blown up, or maybe some of the riders left behind. Like I don't feel like they care too much about their own. Like if he's dead,
maybe
let's ride.
I don't know. Maybe there's an
Something
honorable
like that,
thing
you know?
there. You know, like they're like, hey, we don't
Maybe.
leave our own behind. But no.
If you blow up a bike and it burns,
I could see Cad Bane coming in there using little jetpack boots.
Yeah. If you told me Cad Bane went in there alone and did all that, I would believe it.
Right?
Yeah. He's done more with less. More times.
More.
Do you think he has his little droid?
If he
Toto,
does, I want it voiced by Seth Green.
I do too.
It is Toto.
Chance Yeager says, which character who's made the jump from animation to live action has done so most successfully, in your opinion? And what does successfully mean to you?
One droid looked pretty good.
Which one? BD-1?
Yeah.
From Jedi Fallen Order? I guess you could call that animation. I think Bo-Katan's outfit and look, I mean, obviously it was kind of made to look like Katie Sackhoff, but
Ahsoka's
that's probably
been pretty good.
The most successful. Ahsoka is great, except we have to... it's hard for me not to think about the length of her head tails, because they had to change them just for practicality.
Yeah.
I get it, but that's why it makes me put Bo-Katan a little ahead.
Well, the thing about Bo-Katan being a little ahead is she's voiced by Katie Sackhoff, who they cast to play her in the live action.
Yep.
You can't do that with Ashley Eckstein, right?
Some people would say you could.
Some people would say that, but they didn't. So it wasn't the right choice.
Yep.
More people, I'm sure, were in support of the fan
There's going to be
cast.
some people that are very agreeable to you, and there'll be others that will call for your blood.
Well,
get this is blood.
Cad can bleed if you can cut me.
I feel like Cad Bane looks pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Also, the clone troopers. We won't ever see them animated, right?
Well, damn,
Sure.
That's the correct answer.
You're not wrong. If these are in fact live action,
I definitely think a couple of them
I definitely
were.
believe that they are.
I don't know if all
The
the
ones
shots are.
in the forefront, I believe, are the ones in the back where you can just see them like stacked up stairs or something like that.
It's shots right. Oh man.
I also love they kept the iris of a Force vision from Episode 3, and we've seen that now a couple times.
Yeah.
But Anakin, when he has his visions in the Force, he sees it through this like rainbow lens.
There's a shot when there's a guy like kneeling right here. Like that to me just looks like real armor.
But
like,
hey, motherfucker, I know that's not Luke Skywalker, but it looks like him too.
Like I think there's like maybe 6 or 7 guys in the front that are real, they're live action, and then the rest of these guys in the back that are running towards the camera.
For me, it's so in the middle that if they told me it was either one, I would believe them.
Sure, I get you. Well, because you also have the effects
But
around
it
the
is
front
Tim
of it.
Morrison's model in there. So.
There's the front of it, you know, with the Force vision, with the sparks and stuff. Like there's enough going on where like you can just kind of hide it, and it's not like it's super bright either.
Sure, it's pretty much one perspective or angle. You know, you could get away with it.
No one's talking.
Yeah.
Dead Sage. What'd you say? Dead Sage. Saige. Saige. Dead Sage. Sagi. Okay. Dead Sagi says, "Holy shit, I'm shaking. Ahsoka mentioning Anakin had me floored, and Cad Bane out of nowhere. Do you think we'll get a standoff rematch between Boba and Bane with a flashback, perhaps?"
I would say that if you're going to do that flashback, that's when you do it.
He's in the back to tank.
And it's when you
really quickly
use
jumps in real quick.
Daniel Logan.
Exactly.
Right? And now you've set up that if you use Daniel Logan as a back in the previous thing, it's good. You're good.
Yep.
Bring that boy in here.
Yep.
What does he look like now?
Daniel Logan?
Yeah.
Oh no, just
what?
older Boba from the Clone Wars.
I mean,
you see him now. He looks, I think he can do it.
I haven't seen him recently.
God damn, that'd be baller.
Right? I'd love it. I'd love it.
I mean, we've already seen Daniel Logan in this He just is a little
like
boy.
there's a wiggle room that you have to work with between like when does it turn into Mir Morrison to when it stops being Daniel Logan, you know? I don't know what he looks like now.
How long was this episode, by the way?
Look at this.
Yeah.
Only
No.
34
There's
minutes.
definitely.
Like, how's that look, Ray?
Looks all right.
I could go with that.
Yeah.
Like the costume, obviously, it doesn't look the same as.
Dude,
in
watching
here,
behind the scenes of Tim and Daniel on the set of episode 2 are really fun. Tim Morrison just like always cracking jokes. Like, go bother George. Tell him to tell you what his motivation is.
We've had so many other flashbacks.
We have.
We'll get that one, right?
Go bother George.
Would be a good one.
He was 15 in Attack of the Clones. He was born in 87.
A lot of people are asking, like Grant Smith, who was your favorite character to appear, Luke or Cad Bane?
Cad Bane.
I mean,
we already seen Luke, but we've never seen him so good.
Sure. Luke is an assumption that I'm like, we'll probably see him again at some point, right? They've already brought him in. Like,
we're probably gonna see
Cad Bane though.
Cad Bane again this season at least.
And I love
yeah.
seeing Luke flipping through the forest with
I was
Grogu on his back.
So glad he did a flip.
That's
please
so
flip,
good.
please flip. He flipped.
He's lifting all those frogs.
He's showing Grogu what's possible.
He's rewording
got his
Yoda's like advice.
Don't try, do. I would
it's all
go.
Great.
He spoke in riddles.
I love what we got with both of them.
Yeah.
Cad Bane was more surprising and exciting for this because I was not expecting him. Whereas, like, when you have Mandalorian going to look for Grogu, I'm expecting we're probably going to see Luke, and I hope he feels like Luke.
And Cad Bane fits the story better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like
Of the Boba stuff and the spice and all that, yeah. Now, I was surprised for Cad Bane especially, but I was kind of surprised that Ahsoka just showed up, and I was like, whoa, what's she doing here?
Ray says, not enough people are speaking about the fact that we got to see Yoda's lightsaber again, and it's outrageous. My question is, do you think Grogu, what do you think he will choose? Or do you believe that this is a test, and Grogu chooses both, becoming the next Tar Vizsla?
Dude, has that been ignited since his fight with Palpatine?
I know, because this was like a continuity thing for a comic book. It's in one of the source books, it's confirmed that Yoda's lightsaber is in his cave at Dagobah, but another comic has it that Palpatine has Yoda's lightsaber from
the fight.
Like he took it because there's a thing in there where it gets destroyed, and I think that was settled by saying that that Yoda created a new lightsaber when he was on Dagobah. So it's not technically the same saber that we've seen him fight with, and we've seen so many times that characters have just created new lightsabers.
Sure.
So
Luke had to do that in Return of the Jedi.
some people, I'm sure, will say like they fucked up the canon. It gets destroyed here. It's like no, just be a different one. I think this was settled a while ago because I've seen the criticism of like all Disney. They're not going to care about continuity. Like motherfucker, Legends continuity. How many times did she die?
Yeah, right.
Like there were some glaring holes, but there's glaring holes in just George Lucas continuity. Like what does Leia know of her mother? You know?
Yeah. How fast was the Kessel Run?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's online. Well, it is if you round up. What did he say? He said something like that.
Round down.
Round down. Yoda the Hobbit. I doubt it's him since this Jedi's light-colored hair's a bun shape rather than down the back. But was that Nick Giller betrayed by Sendrali defending Grogu? If you wanted to put it in your head, I don't think there's a problem. Other than, did that Jedi die there? Because in the Episode 3 video game, Anakin has a boss battle with Sendrali and kills him. So that's my canon.
But is it...
Is it canon?
Jack Fern says, do you guys think we'll see Hondo in live action? I have seen Hondo in the livest of action. There's an animatronic at Galaxy's Edge that has his voice, and it's mesmerizing.
Yeah.
And he's literally trying to take your money. Like, it's a theme park that's designed to take your money, but they, like, Disney, like leans into it. Like, yes, come, give your money, take the... It's so, like, meta, but it's so funny.
He's like the Star Wars version of Stan Pine.
Yeah, yes.
Great.
So, yeah, you could very easily do that.
I think that, like, I don't know about now, but I think you could do that before. Like, I don't know where he's at in this point. Like, I don't know if he's alive, dead, or anything.
I don't know how old that species can be.
At one point, Weakways, at one point, he does have the Falcon, too. Because Galaxy's Edge is technically canon, like, around it, and he has the Falcon there.
Well, Galaxy's Edge takes place after Episode 6, right?
Yeah, it's during the sequel trilogy.
So at some point, he parks it on a planet, and it's left as junk.
Yeah, like Ray goes in that thing about like Unkar Plot got it from Duquesne, who got it from the Irving boys, who got it from me, or whatever it was. I can't remember the order right now, but maybe Hondo was like in there too.
Like it'd be interesting if like Dukar, is that what you said? Like what if there was no Dukar? It was just an alias
Duquesne.
that Hondo used.
Yes,
you know?
right. I am Duquesne. Abide says, I have to thank you guys. When I discovered your channel 5 years ago, I didn't care about Star Wars, but your passion for it was infectious.
Aww.
Because of you guys, I've watched all of the animated shows, and now this episode hits so much harder for it, I cried.
Yes. Oh, man. From 5 years?
5 years. Well,
Man.
That's awesome, Abide. Thank you.
Glad you
I
enjoyed
know I
it.
don't have to ask you to subscribe like I do everybody else watching.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Jeff says, as cool as it is to see everyone, do you feel like it caters to the fans a bit too much? We visited several side plots and have not developed Boba as a character much. Something about it feels a bit fan-filmy to me.
I don't know that we haven't developed Boba. I think he's changed a lot from what especially people were expecting him to be. His backstory is what really developed him, and then this current present-day stuff that we've seen with Finnick has been talking more about leading with respect and loyalty.
Like, what question about Boba Fett do you have that hasn't been answered? You think?
Yeah.
Like in terms of developing a character is what I mean. Like, there's the things that are going to happen, but in terms of, like, who is this guy?
There's nothing I can think of right offhand where I'm like, I don't feel like I understand this element of Boba.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not specifically, but I'm also maybe not thinking of all the questions that I need.
Sure.
But I feel like I understand who Boba is, and we need, obviously we needed enforcers, we needed soldiers, we need muscle, we need all that stuff, and that's kind of where we are right now, is like rallying the troops, right? Like,
yeah,
we need to gather in people to be able to take on the Pikes, and the first 4 or 5 episodes, whatever it was, has been Boba, where he's been, who he is now, and what his goals are, and now we just need to make that come to fruition.
Connor McRae says, Eric, I have not seen your reaction yet, but I'm just wondering if your back's okay. I'm wondering if your back problems came back multiple times through this episode, so if so, please go see a doctor to fix it. I just had to stand up, and I think I'm okay. Just had to do a little bit of stand-up. Josh Lee also has the opinion that what if Grogu just becomes a Mandalorian now and then a Jedi later in life? That you guys were talking about.
We kind of know that. He lives so long, right? Yeah. 900 years.
We know.
I want to say Yoda's pirate days.
We know Yoda's 900 years old. We know that he taught Jedi for 800 years. So if that's like a normal development phase, which might not be normal for the species, does that mean that in another 50 years, Grogu's at the point where he's teaching other students?
Where he'd be a master?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, Luke can only train him for so long.
But the one thing we do know is that Luke will not be training many Jedi for long.
Sure.
Well, how many Forlom Jedi are there?
I mean, right. Well, I mean, he would have, if he's starting this, let's say, I'm trying to think, like, Ben would have been born by now. Ben would be 4 years old now, I think, or so. So he wouldn't have been brought to the temple yet. I don't know. I have to do math. I hate math.
You don't know how many of them are Forloms? That's what he said.
Hang on it. Why do you laugh at him?
No, I was genuinely curious by the answer.
Oh, yeah.
How many Forloms there were?
I'm not going to we're not going to get too far into like what a possible flashback could be between Cad and Boba. Just because if they do that, I want as many people as possible to be surprised by what could happen. We'll talk about it next time.
Well, and also, like, if you haven't seen it, setting up expectations of it can sometimes make it worse. You know? Mephisto.
Sure.
It's Mephisto.
There's like, I don't know. I was just thinking in my head, crazy tinfoil hat theory. Like, we know that there's a Sith race. What if there's a Jedi race? And it's like Yoda and Grogu.
That's why their race is unknown.
Yeah.
Luke did say here, like, it's not so much I'm teaching him, it's more like he's remembering.
Yeah. Well, because he was at the Jedi Temple.
Well,
Yeah,
he
I
was
love that.
for a bit, yeah.
Like reverse.
But like, what if it's built into his DNA?
What if it's like a genetic memory?
That'd be an interesting idea.
I like the Jedi version of the like Sith mind probe too. That's really cool. I don't know if we've ever really seen that before.
Yeah. And was it like Luke didn't see that, right? Like he was helping Grogu to remember
he was
it,
hoping
so
Grogu
Grogu
remembered.
was seeing the
It was
vision.
almost like a mix between mind probe and force heal in a way.
Is
If
that
he's like helping him remember.
what Ahsoka did to him? To like communicate with him at first?
That was
maybe like she can like tell what he's thinking.
But she
they
like
can
touched him
communicate.
at first, right?
Yeah, but it's almost as if she can like read his thoughts.
She
whereas
was
Luke,
like
was
communing
healing
with him.
I don't know.
Right? She was actually communing with him.
Well, yeah,
Like,
she could speak and he could understand.
Yeah.
I think with Grogu too, like because he has the Force strong within him, but doesn't necessarily know how to control it. Touching him allows her to kind of help connect to find that. Whereas when you get those kind of things in like the Jedi Council, they aren't necessarily all there like crowded around, but they're all using each other in the Force to try to like reach out and sense stuff because they have that connection already, and Grogu doesn't.
That's it. We need a poll.
That is
for
all.
This episode.
What choice does Grogu make?
I think. I mean, if they ended on the question of what does he pick, that's probably the best. Is the poll for what does Grogu pick?
Sounds reasonable.
Saber Jedi versus Mandalorian armor.
Yep. Or both or neither.
You can't pick both. That's what Luke said.
What?
Luke said.
Luke doesn't know what he's talking about.
But Luke said.
Well, he picks one, the other, or doesn't choose yet. Maybe. I think it's
Put him-
valuable if you don't know what
He
these
takes
are.
both and he runs away.
Yeah. He can jump now. You shouldn't have taught me to jump.
I'll go with the Mandalorian one. I think I'm just basing it on what we know or don't know. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
I'll put it as being on the Mandalorian side. I think maybe that maybe fit in with what we have seen so far.
Yep.
I tend to agree, sadly. Like, I want what I believe is best for him, but that's not what... that's not the choice that he would make.
The alternate thing is that Luke talks about some of his students dying at his academy, his temple and stuff, right?
When the temple burned down,
He has
right?
a dozen students.
Sure. I mean, some turn with Kylo, right? Or is it just Kylo?
No.
Because he comes back with the Knights of Ren, right?
The Knights
those
of Ren
aren't
are
Force users, right? They're
they
just...
kind of are. They're a separate thing, the Knights of Ren.
But they're not from his academy. So if they come in, could Grogu have been there and was one of the students that died? That's also a possibility, too.
Could be. Or maybe Luke just thinks that they all died and they actually went into hiding, like Yoda when the Jedi Temple fell.
He just runs to Dagobah.
Maybe.
Runs to Dagobah.
Luke, use the Force and run.
What do you two think?
I don't think it's right, but I'll say lightsaber.
Is that what you want it to be?
It doesn't have to be now.
I want
It could be eventually.
I
It could be
want
50
to
years from
cheat
now.
and say that this is a false dichotomy and that he'll take both.
That is cheating.
Well, yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this incredible episode of the Book of Boba Fett. We have one more, so make sure you are subscribed. Come back next week, because that's going to be a doozy, regardless of what happens, I believe. Also, stick around for Star Wars Rebels every week and more Star Wars content to come.
Subscribe as we go to 1 million subscribers.
Yes, please.